a little bit, and my story has a lot of ups and downs, like she said. And my husband and I started our first business when I was 22 and he was 24 in 1996. And in 2000, we purchased our first building and we moved our business into that. I told him at that time, I said, we have to have a budget. And that was laughable because I didn't know how to budget. I only knew how to put numbers in a spreadsheet and use a formula. So no budget for me. So we did that. And in 2001, I opened my second business. And with a lot of growth and struggles with our both of the businesses, we incurred a lot of debt, both business and personally. So we've been brought up to think that we need to have a car payment, we need to have a house payment, we need to have credit cards, multiple credit cards, we need to finance our furniture, and if we can make the payments, that we can afford it. But that's where we get it wrong. Change will never happen unless something drastic happens. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't scoop through there. Okay, there's that. No, I guess I'm missing one. So, okay, so this statement can't be further from the truth. So I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it wasn't until I hit my breaking point in 2015 that I knew I had to take action. So we're going to go back to 2014, where it all started. So my daughter and I moved to Florida for 2.5 months. And I was away from my husband of 20 years for the first time ever. And I was so emotional. I just wasn't in the right place. So we moved there so that she could train for judo because my daughter had aspirations of going to the Olympics. And she needed to find out if she was going to do it or not. So we were at the last tournament of the training series that we were at. And we were entering into the school. And behind it, or in front of us, was an 18-wheeler. And the 18-wheeler was going really slow. And whenever we were kind of going around the curve, my daughter was like, Mom, go around him. And I said, I can't. And about that time, a car went through the parking lot and just barely made it in front of the 18-wheeler. So I could see the driver's face in the side mirror, and I was like, okay, he's laughing, he's talking, what is he doing? I couldn't really tell. And so there were cars coming up behind me, and I was like, I need to go around. So I started to proceed around slowly. When I was looking to my left, to the road that was perpendicular to me, it happened. Boom, my daughter screamed out, and I slammed on my brakes. And as I threw open the door and I ran around the back of the car, my mind raced and I was like, what could it be? Is it a dog, a bird, a deer? It was a person. The passenger of the 18-wheeler had got out and had ran in front of the 18-wheeler, and I never saw him, and he collided with my car. So I rendered aid. He was laying there, bleeding through his nose and his mouth. My daughter called 911 and directed the emergency people to us. She put my jacket over him so that he could stay warm because it was a little chilly that morning. And everything just kind of went downhill from there. So I completely cooperated with the police. They took my phone. They never gave it back. They separated me from my 15-year-old daughter in a strange city. And I just did everything that I could to work with them. Well, I was sued civilly by the truck driver company, and then I was charged criminally with 2 counts of reckless driving with injury to a pedestrian, with 1 to 3 years in prison each. And I have never been in trouble for the law. So when I was having to go in the next year, in 2015, I had to hire an attorney for $20,000. I had PTSD, severe depression and anxiety, and I did not want to get out of my house. I wanted to stay at home all the time. So we had to travel to Chicago for a 10-minute court appearance every other month, sometimes every month, in order to have this appearance for me to go there. And I was going from Texas to Chicago. And it was $800 to $1,000 every time we went. So I didn't pay our payroll taxes and for the entire year. So I'm just going to say for the businesses, don't ever do that. Not a good thing at all. Yeah, take my advice. And so I started my minimalism journey that year, and I started feeling lighter. And when I started feeling lighter, I wanted to declutter our debt as well. So back in 2012, my husband, I had asked him if he would do this Financial Peace University with me. And he said no. He was like, I'm not going to go talk to people about my finances in front of people. You know, I'm not going to do that. It's not going to happen. I was like, oh, okay. So then in August of 2015, I asked him if he would do it with me online, and he said yes, and I was so excited. I was like, wow. So I purchased the program. I downloaded the workbooks. I printed them off because I'm a nerd. And we did it, and we binged some weeks a lot because we were so excited about getting this done. We were like, whoa, it's so exciting. So, who would have thought that? So the first month I did a budget, I had $145 surplus after being over all the time. I could never budget. I was always over. And I was like, why is this happening? But I couldn't believe it. It was $145. And I'm like, I did it. So in 2016, I couldn't manage our bills, our business bills. My husband had to start doing that. And then I was struggling with life and business. And I remember telling one of my customers, my business, I said, please do not let me cancel your appointments, because I knew if I started canceling appointments that I was going to stop and I would not go back to work and I would just let it go. And I just hung on to that business. Oh, that's out of order. Sorry. That was my thing. So in 2017, I got this crazy idea to convince my family, my daughter, who was almost 18, and my husband, to move out of our home of 20 years and move into our 40-foot motorhome in my parents' driveway. Crazy, yeah? I'm a little crazy. So, but my crazy plan paid off. By the end of the year, we had paid off $64,000 and we had saved $8,000. But to get to that, I missed my routine at home. I didn't miss my home, but I missed my routine. We had strangers living in our home. My daughter was struggling with all kinds of things, and I felt like I had a black veil over me that she was going to die the whole entire year. And it was just so, it just brought me down. My mom had a stroke, and I had surgery. And for bonus points, the IRS called and said, you owe $75,000. I was like, what? So remember the payroll taxes I said to not pay? Yeah, do what I say, not what I do. Kind of like what our mom said. So we had a few days to figure out what we were going to do, and we had to take out a 10-year loan for that. So I was very dejected because I was like, I am not taking out a 10-year loan. We've just paid off all this debt. I don't want to do this. We're just so close. And in February of 2018, we moved back home. My conditional discharge was over. My community service was over. I was free and I could breathe. And I was so happy. I just remember that feeling. Now I had to just finish the civil suit. And last time to Chicago forever. I was never going back. I'm never going to the state. Anybody who loves Chicago, I'm really, really sorry. I'm never going there again. So it's over. Yeah. So we fully funded our emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. We did a few little remodels with cash, and I purchased my first car with cash. So during that time, my parents were also in the hospital 2 weeks apart from each other, and my dad was in ICU twice. So sometime in 2017, I said, I'm ready to start working on my business. 2018. I wanted to start working on my business because I'd started therapy in 2017. All right, 2019, this is my year. So finally started our retirement so that we didn't have to live in a van down by the river. Any SNL fans? Yes? No? Yeah? Yep. So that's always been a favorite of ours. And then my dad passed, and unexpectedly. And I had to take care of my mom. And my mom has dementia, but it was very early stages of dementia. And in June, I had another surgery. So 2020 comes, okay, this is my year. Just kidding. The effing world shut down. Okay, so then we moved my mom in with us for about 3 months because she didn't really want to be there. She was like, I shouldn't be living with my children, yada, yada, yada. But I realized how bad she was, that it was really worse than what I thought. And so we had to move her to assisted living and memory care. So my daughter moved in, my extra daughter moved in, and so my mom's dog also came with her. So now that's 5 humans and 4 dogs in my house. So it was a little bit of a crazy thing going on. So things started to return to normal in September, and we paid off our mortgage early. And that was a crazy feeling. You really don't know how you're going to feel when that debt's gone. And sometimes I feel like I still have it because it's such a long time that you carry this debt. So, but it was all gone, and I was so excited. So in 2021, this is really my year. Really, 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 really. I mean it. So we started a retirement fund for our daughter, and I was able to double the annual revenue for my spray tan business that I had. So I was so excited. So thank you. Thank you. So in 2022, we paid off that 10-year loan that I had vowed to pay off in 5 years on July 12th. And I paid it off in 5 years and 2 months. And now we're 100% debt-free, personally and in all of our businesses. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I wish my dad could have been here to see it. What I didn't tell you is that my dad, he didn't carry debt. He paid cash for everything. So I took my mom to the bank with me to watch me make the final payment. And sadly, she did not remember that we had lived in the motorhome in her driveway in 2017. She didn't remember about my accident or our debt. But she was there, and she was proud of me and my husband, and I was happy with that. So in 7 years' time, we paid roughly $450,000 plus. Wow. It's a lot, and you don't think about how much that is, but we worked really, really hard, and I know that if I can do it, that anyone can do it. So if I can leave you with 3 takeaways for today, is 1, don't wait. Don't wait for hard times to come before making a plan for your money. Debt is scary, and it seems embarrassing, but with discipline and a plan, you can do it. 2, take action. Review the last 2 months' bank statements, write down your income and expenses, list your debts in order from smallest to largest, and don't worry about your debt. And then create a budget. And there are templates to help you, lots more templates now, and or apps, or I would love to help you. And then 3, make it happen. Do what others won't do. Be weird. Weird. Because normal is broke. So my favorite Dave Ramsey quote is, live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else. Thank you. Don't be scared to make a change. Be scared of what will happen if you don't. I hope hearing my story has changed your mind about discussing money, and that you felt hope and inspiration to change your family tree and become debt-free. Just imagine where you could be in 6 months if you started today. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.